for liberation just have vastly different understandings of what liberation is for.
I haven't seen this much importance and attention.
The story itself is a really wonderful, really great setup.
Tractor beam has been engaged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tractor Beam Comics Reviews, your one-stop shop for in-depth commentary and discussion on this week's Star Wars comics. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. It's the 50th week of comics in 2025. 50 of 53, I believe.
Whoa.
That's because December 31st is a Wednesday. We are not going to have an episode on New Year's Eve. I promise you that. Don't worry. If you can hear my voice, sounds weird. It's because I'm still getting over a cold. That's why I was not on Ion Cannon on Monday. But anyway, I'm Matthew. That's Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, man. I tuned in on Monday. I was like, wait, you're taking another break? What's happening here? What's happening?
You know, I was just lazy. No, I'm just kidding. I was I caught a flu bug, and so hopefully I'm audible. Hopefully I sound like I'm alive. But yeah.
No, but I had a very good Star Wars morning.
Nice.
I woke up, I watched one of the latest episodes of the Young Jedi Adventures with my cereal because we're not talking about the issue that came out like
next
Tuesday. Next week we'll talk about it. But the final season, so it's going well. I think there's only 7 episodes, so I'll be watching one a day basically for a week. Probably will end up just binging the rest over the weekend when I have more spare time. But so I did that, and then I jumped back into Star Wars: The Old Republic, the long-standing MMORPG, and the likes of World of Warcraft and Star Wars Galaxy, and they have a big content patch. So I played through that. I was on the dunes of Tatooine, and I was going through the tundra of Hoth, and it was really cool because I was just doing my thing. You know, it's been a year and a half since I played that game, so. And now I get to talk about Star Wars comics. So it's been kind of like a May the 4th sort of day with all this going on.
It's amazing that game is still going on. It's wild.
Yep.
The only continued Legend story that's been continuously going.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2 comics that came out today and one that came out last week. Before we do that, let's get to the plugs. You can follow us on Blue Sky at thetractorbeam.bisky.social, as we say. That's a THE Tractor Beam on Blue Sky there. For Instagram, Twitter, Threads, etc., check out the SWU. They got you covered for all the news, including when the solicits drop. I will send that info over. Also, for everything Chris is up to, you can do youtube.com/StarRaptor and Twitter at StarRaptor. That's StarRapter. Check all that out for all your recaps and video game stuff and all that fun stuff. We'll get to those again at the end. If you prefer audio for listening to these dulcet tones as they are, instead of just watching, put us on mute and won't make sense. But instead of watching and listening, you just prefer to listen. We are on Spotify and Apple. Search the Tractor Beam Star Wars comics reviews there on any podcatcher of your choice. And yeah, we will. I'll get this episode up right at the end when we're done recording tonight. Lastly, the Star Wars Underworld Discord server. We're part of the Star Wars Underworld network. Get this in the right order there. Part of the Star Wars Underworld podcast network. Check out all the other shows, including the flagship tomorrow night and Ion Cannon on this past Monday, and some other things going on around there, including the Discord server, which we will pick back up, not at the end, kind of in the middle. Because we got a sequel heavy episode, which means Joel is joining us in just a bit to talk about some other books in this great era of Star Wars storytelling. But first off, finally, Codebreaker #4, written by Ethan Sachs, art by Mark Yarza and Jose Marzan Jr., colors by Nico Larigi, letters by Comicraft's Tyler Smith and Jimmy Betancourt, and cover, as you can see right here, by Diego Galindo. Also, this is going to be an all physical copy episode of
Oh,
Tractor Beam, because shout out to Melissa down at Planet X. I was able to pop in and grab my comics, give them a read. So yeah, check out your local comic book shop. It's a good place to be. Anyway, cornered by the Banshee of Bastine, Poe and BB-8 have only one way to escape with the Codebreaker and their lives. The Resistance pilot must improvise for a last-ditch dogfight against his nemesis. What follows is a feat of flying that will take all of Poe's knowledge, skill, and dumb luck to survive. Don't miss the high-octane conclusion to this mini-series, and we definitely missed it, as in it took so long. But here it finally is. So glad this run could finally wrap up. Not that we are sad to see it go. I'm sad to see it go, but glad that this issue could finally come out. I'm not sure what the issue was with the issue coming out, but we'll find that out maybe in due course. But as a comic book itself, yeah, I definitely enjoy the inventiveness, the creativity that it shows. Nice little kind of a few touching moments, I should say. Just the way he appeals to this museum over the Battle of Bothawi, and they're at this museum that is this testament to the Clone Wars and the stories of heroism, people standing up to the bullies, to the against all odds, and that is this connection. The folks on Bothawi, I don't know if the Republic felt this way, but them and the droids. He said both clones and droids, soldiers and droids, and so drawing this line of connection to the Resistance and to the situation, the moment. It's just Poe, BB-8, and the Codebreaker girl. I forget her name. I should look it up in a second. But yeah. We see flashes of the Poe on crate standing up, making an inspiring speech that also is for himself. And it's inspiring himself to take the fight to the First Order, to just say doing what he can to keep this vulnerable kid alive, including faking her death, which was pretty funny, pretty fun way of going about it. Got this Lego of the Z95 Headhunter. No, it's an ARC 170, but we're gonna show that there. Yeah, again, Poe flying these relics that we've only seen in. I guess we've seen them around a little bit, but in Jedi Survivor. Cal flies one, a few other places, but just Poe kind of embodying the past, both in his speech and in actually flying the thing. So there's that last little touching moment I'll say before I throw it over to you, Chris, is if you notice. So the reason I've called this episode Star Tours is partly because this is the three comics we're doing go around space and do different things and show different stories of people's lives, but also the ship that this droid guy D escapes on with the Codebreaker is a ship from Star Tours, right? That's that actual ship that they on Star Tours. So which sadly was not working when I was there in July, but I'll take it. Yeah, it was I think it was just under maintenance all summer in Anaheim, but that's okay. Nice little fun touching moment that Ethan and Mark and Jose and them, Nicola, put in there. Say yeah, that it's making, I should get the actual quote, but making more history, right? Taking on, like, he's a tour guide. That's the thing that was really, really touching, right? Here's this tour guide who's taking, the tour along, or who's fulfilling his mission to not just be, this tour guide of the past, but to be a guide to the present and to help this kid escape and reunite with her mother back on Megiddo. And so, yeah, definitely nice little touching moment. Lastly, the two first order pilots kind of at each other's throats a little bit. That kind of banter, that was fun to see, but also it's like, yeah, this is what brought the Empire down, was this kind of silly competition. This is what may bring the First Order down, this kind of silly competition. Whereas you have someone like Poe, by contrast, was sort of a great contrast to Poe, standing up and taking care of this kid who, yeah, I mean, also eliminating the threat that the kid as the technology posed, but yeah, helping her be reunited with her mother on Megiddo. So all in all, solid run. Too bad it took so long for this to come out, but yeah, I'm glad we've got it. 4 issues seemed about right, I think, from what I can recall. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was fast or not, but because it was so long ago. But this one seems like a great conclusion overall. So I'm satisfied with what we got now. But yeah, interesting to see. Yeah, they got Dark Horse has a bunch of runs coming up in the future. Hopefully a little bit. So yeah, they got a few runs to finish off. So hopefully announce some more. Anyway, I rambled a little bit more, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Codebreaker number 4. I'll finally turn it over to you, Chris. What do you think of this comic and this whole run?
Yeah, the comic was good. I think it could have been maybe a little bit longer, or things edited a little bit more in a more coherent fashion, because as much as it was fun with the dogfights, I don't know about you, but I got lost.
Interesting.
I got lost. I don't know what happened to the Banshee of Bastine, because I'm looking at the comic here, and at one point he's there, and then we don't even see an explosion, and he's gone. Like I do appreciate the whole idea of Von Rag and the animosity and like the hatred of him and the Banshee of Bastine. But like, you're coming into it, he's got the Banshee of Bastine. I'm looking on page 18 of the comic, and you have Poe, and I really did like this part where it's like he is such a good pilot because he's using basically like 35-year-old tech.
Yeah.
Against the best and brightest of the First Order with their technology with these new interceptors. So he's got to think outside the box. He's pulling pranks and like using stuff like Han Solo would use the Millennium Falcon, like landing it on the side of the ship, letting the Banshee of Bastine in, past him. He goes behind him,
right,
and you hear the alarms, ring off of the cockpit view of Banshee of Bastine. And then he's like, help me, Von Rag. And this whole time, like, he's been chastising Von Rag, saying, like, oh, like, do not kill him. He's mine, and all this stuff. So now Von Rag goes and says, nah, I'm not going to help him. Because he said not to kill him. And the next thing you know, you see, like, and this is where it gets confusing. Because on page 19, we have just a view of the Crimson guy, Von Reg. And then it looks like we have a close-up inset shot of Poe Dameron's Z95, like the blaster shorts out. And then he ends up getting one shot through, hits the interceptor of Von Rag, which spins out. And then he regains control and is by the First Order Starship. But like that entire time, we don't even see an explosion or any acknowledgement of what happens with the Banshee of Bastine. So that's why I'm just a little bit confused. Like, is he dead? Like, where is he? Because we don't even know. So other than that blemish, I think it was really good. I like the end where we have the Resistance with Snap Wexley coming on in. With looks like a Mon Calamari cruiser at some point. And it chases the First Order out of there. And like you, I thought it was a little dark because at one point, well, I don't know if you mentioned it was dark, but like, I like what they did with the character of, was her name Chet or something like that? I feel like I don't know
I'm trying to
my head either.
Forget.
But at one point, like the First Order was like, we're gonna kill her, and I was like, oh wow, that's pretty dark for Dark Horse, because it's an all-age comic, and
Yeah,
they're talking
check it.
about killing a child. And
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, okay. But then even at the end, Poe Dameron's like, yeah, she died, and she gets away. Now she's with her father. So I thought that was cool. But
Yeah.
the whole thing with the Tor droid is really, again, it's like, are we ever gonna run out of ideas for droids? Because it seems like we have such a finite amount of models, of different kind of models in every Star Wars story. It's almost like I feel like it's like almost a requirement from Lucasfilm saying like you have to have some kind of droid that is the iconography of Star Wars is to have a droid.
Yeah.
But it amazes me how we still get these unique droids almost every time where they feel different. They have a different personality, a different way of life, essentially. Anyway, I'm running on here, but yeah, I enjoyed the issue. I just wish the dogfighting could have been a little clearer for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they want to keep the Von or not Von Reg, the Banshee just for another comic or something.
Yeah.
Later story. Yeah. Sorry, blanking what I was going to talk about. Yeah. Keep it. Yeah, for a future run, and yeah, we'll see what it was. Again, I completely blank on the other thing you were just saying. Refresh my mind. Refresh my memory, Chris.
Oh, I was just saying about the Banshee of Esteen and how it was like kind of it was
unclear.
Left up to interpretation, I guess you could say.
Oh, the droids. You were talking about droids. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think someone like Ethan knows how to write droids too, especially. Like someone with that kind of creativity. He writes Underworld characters too. So there you go. I mean, Mark Guggenheim's D Squad.
Oh.
Probably my favorite. One of my favorite books in the whole Dark Droids. So, yeah, it's true. We've gotten a lot of good things. I can see it being. Is it a kind of a thing from on high? Lucasfilm says you got to have a droid in there. I mean, I can also see authors creatives trying to take on the challenge intentionally.
Okay. Sure.
So it could be both. Could be. I mean, definitely, if you're going to go to a Clone Wars museum, gotta have a B1. I mean, that's a prerequisite there. So, yeah, but yeah, I can see that, and definitely, yeah, this guy D, funny name, great role, great idea to have that. So, I agree. Yeah, looking forward to whatever Dark Horse has up next, and we have a few things again on the go. But yeah, these 4-issue runs, fun 4-issue runs, if they can get released, that's the thing. I'm really curious.
Yeah, within a 4-month period.
Yeah. So there we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna let my vocal cords rest slightly here by bringing in our resident sequelist. I know this is already a sequel era, but I'm gonna bring in resident sequelist, Mr. Joel Davis. Joel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Is this the same Von Reg from Star Wars Resistance?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, same red outfit.
Oh yeah.
Uniform?
Yep.
Oh nice, nice. Oh cool. I did not know this. That's awesome. I'm glad he's alive. At least he's happy during that period. So that's cool. That's cool. Glad everyone's doing good. I have a feeling, Chris, you were playing KOTOR because of all those rumors that that may not be happening, depending on if you believe it or not, or did you just get it because the patch was started?
No. What happened was, and this goes, I know you follow the strikes and whatnot. There was a voice actor strike for like a year and a half.
Oh wow!
So literally, like, it was crazy. They couldn't release any content, like any new story content, for a year and a half, which is why I haven't played in so long. Because I will play the updates every day they go. The first day they go live, I'm on there playing the game. So I'm like, oh, hallelujah. They finally got more content to us after a year and a half. So that's why I was on there. But I mean, I know to briefly go over the gaming thing without taking over the show.
Sure.
There's a Game Awards show happening tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. If they're going to make an announcement this week, which the rumors were, then I think we'll see something official tomorrow, probably. But that's the story for the Underworld flagship. which I guess
Hope it wasn't that
tomorrow.
card game, even though that card game probably looks fun. I hope that was.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
But
That's right up my alley. It's like Hearthstone meets Star Wars. I'm all up for that.
So,
nice, but
fun times. Yes, get video game madness ticker down there. Yeah, we can talk about video games at some point. I mean, definitely, if we plan it in advance. But yeah, there we go. I mean, one last thought there. Knowing Lucasfilm marketing, I don't know if they'll make an announcement or anything. Yeah, random Tuesday in random Thursday in December. Who knows what? Anyways, let's move right along. Well, actually, before we do that, as promised, Joel, welcome again to Tractor Reading Comics Reviews.
yeah.
Tell us about the Discord server. What's events happening on there?
I'm going to try and do a game night on Friday. I might be a little late because I might have to have some other plans that day, but I'm going to try and make it. So that's happening. Last couple of weeks we've kind of had a hiatus because of the holidays. But hopefully we'll be back on it soon enough. We do game nights, movie nights, and D&D nights. So come and join us. And don't forget to check out Ion Cannon because this week I took over because this guy over here got sick. Mr. Get Sick person, how dare you? Star Wars come before your health. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but I had a good time with our friend Ash Mothma talking about Master of Evil.
Yep.
So that was fun, and yeah, I hope we had a good time.
Yep. I will finally give my spoilery thoughts on that book on Monday.
Good.
Don't worry, but yeah, then we're talking about. I guess we're doing our year in review. Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right. Okay, moving right along. Book that did come out today also. Hunt for the Falcon, number 4, written by Rodney Barnes, art by Ramon Rosanas, colors by Guru EFX, and letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, and cover by Ramon Rosanas and Guru EFX. Jailbreak. Han and Chewie make a break from the prison of junk dealer Unkar Plutt, but they'll need to get past the Voral Serpents if they want to live to see another day. All the while, Han's life with Leia, Ben, Chewie, and Lando hangs in the balance. Chris, I'll throw this one to you. What did you think of Hunt for the Falcon, number 4 of 5?
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty cut and dry. No offense to Mark Guggenheim and team, but it was very straightforward. You know, mostly action based. I mean, we start off with a really cool nostalgic bit, which this series has been doing really good with. Flashbacking to Han Solo in the good old days of fighting the Empire and the Millennium Falcon, and then we go transition to him and Ben and Lando gambling and all the good times, and then. I think what this issue does really well, though, is it really, and I think that the series as a whole cements the fact of there is that really close bond between Chewie and Han, and it runs deep. And to see Han like actually, open up to Chewie. I don't know how many times over the years he's done this, but like, just admit like you are my best friend, care about you, I really do. And then the stuff with his, family, like I miss my family. Want to get back together, but I also miss like the life of smuggling. So he's got the dilemma there. But we go into stuff like references with Indy and how he's hating snakes and the Voral Serpents, and yeah, I saw stuff with Unkar Plutt running around. Like I didn't know that the underside of Jakku looked quite like that. So that was a new canon experience that we got there with these creatures and whatnot. Like I said, like I wasn't able to glean a whole lot, but I think where it shines is the relationship between Han and Chewie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what we see there, I agree in terms of that being the emotional focus, emotional core there. I mean, Han opening up those flashbacks. This one really pressed home his age, right? That's the thing. Is he's this paradox, where he says he doesn't know who he is anymore. Because he wants to always be on the run. He says he always used to live on the edge, but he's also getting too old for this shit, right? He's like getting just realizing with Leia is what life really matters, and just always being getting on the edge of life. Well, time has done that for him, anyways, right? He doesn't have to go guns blazing into a Star Destroyer to be on the edge of life anymore. Of course, he meets his end on Starkiller Base, confronting his son. But yeah, that he's in this rock and a hard place, in that his age is also then limiting him from being the guy on the run, being the guy on the edge, wanting wanting that homeliness means he can't also go and fight and go and run around. So yeah, I mean, it was a really wonderful moment of admission, of self-reflection, introspection, of, yeah, like you said, we haven't seen much of that at all. We never see much of that. And if there's one person who could bring it out, you think it would be Leia, but no, it's Chewie. Or if there's someone else you could bring it out, would be Chewie, for them to really go into it and finally realizes, oh, this is why he's going so hard looking for the Falcon, because he's trying to find his past life, his past identity. And it's at this moment here in this issue where he actually gives up, I think, trying to find the Falcon. Says, no, we got to go we'll find another ship, we'll go and take you home to Kashyyyk, and I'll go.
Yeah, okay, so that's how we get around it. Yeah, that's how we get around the fact that they just stopped.
Yeah,
that's I skirted over that fact apparently, but yeah, no, I mean, I read it and it didn't resonate me, I guess, as much as that. So
because I'm older than you, Chris, I can. Kidding. With a wonderful character moment, with a really poignant character moment that Rodney really brings home, and had really thought this through. I think he really has. So, it's a good setup for issue number 5, which again, ending this run. Who knows if we're gonna. The thing with the Rathdars is going to show up then.
Yeah,
probably.
King Prana, we gotta end up there. We gotta hopefully.
Yeah, with King Prana, which is odd because now we know this is where he was, but at least within this paper canon story, before Force Awakens, he was taking Chewie home. But that also kind of gives this interesting contrast to the Chewie we're home moment. Right. In that, I mean, that's also the thing with life, right? Good things kind of happen when you stop looking so hard for them, when you stop trying too hard. Then he has this Chewie we're home in The Force Awakens, in the trailer, all that big moment, a real feeling like this weight has come off his shoulders now, and puts that in a new light. So Rodney Barnes really carrying this character beat through. Ramon Rosana's playing up the age difference, I think, really well, writing on in 2 different eras like that. And I mean I'm 40, I'm not that much older, but kind of it's true. I've finally been able to, I can say this on authority. The older you get, ideally, the more you start to care about things that matter more, and care less about things that matter less. And of course, it took Han that long, but it's still wonderful to see this happen. So that those are my thoughts there. Joel, turns to you. What do you think of this issue?
Oh, I enjoy it. I agree. It's pretty cut and dry. I love that it's an Indiana Jones reference with the snakes.
Yeah.
Serpents. That's all I was thinking about. I wasn't here last week, so I kind of want to just kind of merge these thoughts together for these last 2 comics, if you don't mind.
Where issue number 3.
Where one thing I've been loving about this book are the flashbacks, and one thing I definitely love seeing is really, and because we didn't do flashbacks in the sequels, or the Force Awakens. Funny enough, we did it with 7, 8, and 9. But not with 7. Where we really do get to see. Okay, there was a period where, yeah, Han, Leia, and Ben were this family. Not everything was perfect, not what it is, but they were happy. They had a good time. Han tried his best. He might not have always been the best, but
Mm-hmm.
there were good times and fun times and exploding times.
Mm-hmm.
I love in the previous issue how Ben just tries to jigger his droid to study faster so he can go to build his
Yeah.
car, race
Yeah.
car or something. That was hilarious.
Oh man.
And I love the little moment of like Han, Leia, and Ben playing this little game in this issue.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like he was teaching Ben sabacc or something, which like, hey, that Han would totally do that. Try to keep cards.
Oh, yeah.
But I like those little moments of like, yeah, there were good times. It wasn't just where I think some people perceive the movies as just after Return of the Jedi, everything went downhill after like the next day. Like, no, there was a good 20, 30 years before things really started to hit the fan. And teen angst and tension happened. So I really appreciate that. Still not 100% sure where the heck in the timeline we are in terms of how long until Force Awakens comes out. Like, Han doesn't act as if Ben's on the dark side, but he might not know.
Yeah.
I almost have this almost sneaking suspicion that the ending's actually gonna be really sad, where like he finds out, oh yeah, your son's turned evil now.
That's possible. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like like we're about to go home, and then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, Ben Solo is now with the First Order and on the side of evil. So good luck with that. And just just decides to just keep going with the Falcon run, and Chewie just decides to stick around because Han's life kind of now is even worse.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not quite sure where this all lines up. I mean, maybe we'll find out by the end. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they'll leave it vague intentionally. But that's about it. Again, it's pretty cut and dry. Just escape Jakku. Han and Chewie have some good heart-to-heart moments. And I did agree, like, yeah, this really shows that, yeah, Han and Chewie are like, Han's like Chewie's like bestest friend ever. It's like probably the closest person he has right now, because it's Chewie for you.
Yeah,
loyal to the end. I know, just a really good issue overall.
But I like, again, like we see Chewie in a different lens. Like, Chewie, say what you will, but if you leave out all this book material, he's a one-note character, kind of. Like, we don't really know a lot about Chewie. Like, in any of the movies or the series, like, we never know that he even really has a family to begin with. Like, that's never mentioned in any of the movies. Like, what's he in this for? What's he doing?
A holiday.
So the fact that we're shining a light on that aspect of, like, yeah, we got to remember this guy's, yeah, he's old and he can spend more time with his family than a human can because of his lifespan as a Wookiee. But still, like, I like how he stressed, like, I want to be with my family. Like, enough of this stuff. Like, I helped you out. Can't get it. I want to go home. Like, it adds more layers to the character of Chewie. So now when I watch The Force Awakens, in the back of my head, I'm going, oh yeah, Steve Barnes and wait, was it Steve Barnes? Rodney Barnes. There's a Steve Barnes, right?
Yeah, it's another author, I think.
That's the writer of one of the novels, right?
Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, so like I have this story in the back of my head now, going, oh yeah, Chewie's family is back on Kashyyyk. They're waiting for him. You know. So it's cool. It adds that complexity to a character that we really didn't know that much about, even almost 50 years later.
I will say, Joel, with the timeline, at the very least, we know that like this whole run is sort of built on that the dialogue in Force Awakens, where it's like, oh, he had the ship, and it was the kid, that. So that's at least sort of gives us some sense of compactness. But you're right, who knows how much further. But also, yeah, for both of you guys, your points about how the flashbacks and Chewie, this contrast with Han, what he's running from, and this is finally the tug back to that. Yeah, like he's gonna go to Hosnian Prime or wherever. I guess Leia's on Hosnian Prime at this point. That's probably his next stop after Kashyyyk. So which is would be saying something, but or I guess maybe she wouldn't be on Hosting Prime anymore. Never mind. She'd be
I hope not. Get out.
Yeah,
Get out.
wherever the resistance is.
Dakar.
At that
It
point.
would be Dakar. At this
Yeah,
point.
Dakar. That makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, but to say, yeah, I mean the thought that they would be reunited before that film, which is also they need to save that moment, I think, for the film, that to be the reuniting. But yeah, that he already wants to. That's another thing. It sets that up that he already wants to come back to her. That we sort of see in the film a little bit. Well, for a minute, and then he goes off and dies. But yeah, there you go. You guys have any further thoughts on this one before we move on?
No, this was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of their child, Legacy Vader. This came out last week. Legacy Vader number 11, written by Charles Soule, art by Luke Ross, colors by Nolan Woodard, letters by VC's Joe Carmagna, and cover by Derek Chu. I gotta say, when I showed my brother this cover a few hours ago, I was like, "Oh, Kylo Ren looks like he's having a bad day."
Yeah.
Great look. This look would get Adam Driver an Oscar. There we go. Anyway, covered by Derek Chu. Kylo Ren in the pits of Mustafar. As Vonne's unhinged plans come together, Kylo Ren is put to the ultimate test. The legacy of Vader comes full circle in physical form as Kylo is forced to don his grandfather's helmet. Can Kylo survive the deadly depths of Vader's castle? Joel, you're here. You're a fan. I'll throw it to you first. What did you think of Legacy of Vader number 11?
Oh yeah, I really liked this quite a bit. This is the penultimate issue of this comic. Vinay just putting Kylo through the ringer. It's like, oh, hey, I wonder, like, where did he get that extra helmet from? Does Vader just have extra helmets? Is he like a closet of just all of his helmets? I mean, maybe. I guess he doesn't have necessarily the one helmet, or did Vinay just make
how
this
many
helmet?
times his helmet gets smashed? You know, he's got to have a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Grievous's lair with all those parts of Grievous had.
I now just have this like image of like Kylo thinking he has the only helmet of Vader, then he just goes to the cat.
Oh no!
Like, oh no, he's like a collection of helmets. It's like the value on this has now gone down. It's no longer collectible. It's like, oh no, we manufactured hundreds of these. Vader would lose one a day, pretty much. But Vinay's like, oh well, maybe to make a new Vader, I gotta just put you in molten lava and burn you up. That'll learn you. That'll teach you, kid. And of course, Kyle's like, I don't want to get burned up. No way, no, thank you. And I love how Vinay is just like, oh, you ruined everything, and blah 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 blah. But I also really liked you, so woe is Vinay. And of course, Kyle's like, oh, I'm done with this guy. Like Kyle's now really mad. And I loved all the traps and stuff that Vader.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Joel, we kind of lost Joel. I'll drop Joel up for a little bit, and then when he comes back, he can come back. They'll let me know. Yeah, Chris, throw it to you. Legacy Vader number 11.
Oh, this had a lot packed in. This had a lot packed into this issue, as it should for a penultimate issue of a 12-issue series. This did a lot of legwork, a lot of heavy lifting for the character of Ben Solo / Kylo Ren. Oh, you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, go for
it.
Joel.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry, my internet crapped out on me for like 5 seconds.
That's too bad.
But I was saying I really like when Vinay, finally thinks like, oh, maybe this kid is worth it. And you have so much potential. My favorite line is, I've been hearing about my potential since I was 3 years old. I wonder if that's a reference to Cassian too. Like, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old instead of 3.
Maybe.
But anyway, I like that line because I think it's just so true, and I think that's kind of always been Ben Solo's big things. Everyone's saying like, you're gonna be like your uncle, you're gonna be like your dad, you're gonna be like your mom, you're gonna be like your grandpa, depending on which person was saying at the time. Probably both sides of the coin, if you know what I mean. And Ben's like, can't I just I think deep down Ben just wants to be Ben. Can't I just be me? Did anyone care about Ben Solo? And maybe that was why he liked Rey a lot, because Rey was one of the few people maybe Ben. She liked Ben for Ben. Like you want someone for Ben. Then he smashes Vinay's thing like rip Vinay. I guess the Lego specials aren't canon, people. Sad. But yeah, I really like that moment as sort of like the ultimate moment. And now into the vault we go. And I'm very much of the opinion. I mean, unless Charles has some weird plan, but I doubt it. I mean, in this moment of like, I don't think there's gonna be MacGuffin. I don't think there's gonna be like Kylo Ren exits with the Rod of Equity or something like that. The Spear of Destiny, whatever. Or Spear of Ragnos, whatever. It's just, I think the vault is like, it was you all along, Kylo Ren. It's basically the cave from Dagobah. It's just gonna be a big cave sequence, and maybe he fights Vader, and maybe the mask will come off, and Anakin's head will project, and then what happened? And then Kylo just goes back to supreme leadering. Maybe he destroys the castle, like because one thing to connect to Rise of Skywalker, they say like Kylo goes back to that to get the Wayfinder in the ruins of Vader's castle.
Yeah.
Now the ruins could just be the structure still exists and it's just abandoned. But like, what if Kylo literally just destroys the castle? Like,
I think it's possible.
Destroy this castle, and then you'll actually see ruins. Like oh shoot, the actual foundational structure is gone.
It would make so much sense because I just don't understand how in the movie they just didn't pan up and show the castle. Like, what the heck? Like,
that's because I don't think it
makes sense.
See, I think it's just because it was never Mustafar. I just think it was just they said it retroactively. I don't think they ever thought it was Mustafar.
Yeah.
I just think planet. That's my hot
I don't know
take.
if J.J. Abrams has seen Rogue One. I'm just kidding.
That's my hot take. I don't think there ever was a Vader's castle. I just think it was just a retroactive thing. I don't think there's ever a cut of Episode 9 with the Vader's castle in it.
Just concept art, though.
But yeah. But okay, maybe there is. But yeah, maybe. I mean, again, we don't know in canon. Like, what do the ruins of Vader's castle mean? Is the structure still standing, or did they kapooey? So that's my hot take. But yeah, great penultimate issue. This has been a great 12-issue miniseries so far. Hopefully, the ending nails it. I'm sure it will. And it's been a nice little complete beginning, middle, and end. I don't think. I know we talked about this off screen, Chris. I don't think that's Palpatine whispering in his voice. I mean, maybe, but at this point, I just don't see where you fit Palpatine in this unless for like a little cameo at the end of going, yeah, and that's it. Because like, I think Vinay was just working for Vinay. I think Vinay was just the crazy guy at this point, who really wanted a Vader buddy and didn't get it. So, rip Vinay. This was fun.
Yeah, he's so Kylo. He's going to the cave to get the Rod of Ages. Apparently, he's going to bring back the No, I'm just kidding. But that reminds me, spread of the week that week in Tears of Fear, not Tears of Nameless, Echoes of Fear. When Wreath goes through those caves, that was the spread of the week. That was a contender for spread of the year. This is spread of the year right here. Like, this was.
I can't wait to get that in comic
and
book form.
This is why I'm so glad I got the physical issue, because
I gotta get it.
You gotta follow it along, and it's like it's so much movement and so much energy with the like you said, Joel, all those booby traps and obstacles and things. But while he's explaining this, doing this exposition on what his plan was, this brilliant moment of hiding exposition in action that you tell the film people, Charles here has to have had to have directed Luke and Nolan to say, okay, now he's escaping this because jumping over here and whatnot. It would have been silly just for them to be. I would have probably found it fun and fascinating if they were just sitting down next to each other and he was telling this, but no, he's kind of broadcasting this while
probably scripted out, like Kylo jumps, then he goes a flip, and then go through a fire ring, and
but my point being, embedding all this kind of dry exposition, like throwing back the curtain on his plan, while it has to be while Kylo does this whole daring and I think very symbolic obstacle of transcending Vader's legacy, right? The moment you pick out, Joel, is where he says, the quote about potential, and he responds, I have everything I need now, right? He doesn't actually he throws away all this, be like your uncle, be like your father, be like your mother, be like your grandfather, be like your grandmother, whatever. He says, forget this, I'm going to be myself, and I have everything I need now, which Vinay kind of half-heartedly, I guess, but also says, okay, yes, now that's what you need. That's what you need to do. You'll carry his legacy forward. Of course, turns out he's wrong. He doesn't carry Vader's legacy forward. He carries Anakin's legacy forward. But in the end, but even then, that's also previewing that moment, right? Because that moment where Ben returns, because it's not just not just all the potential that his family had on him, the pressure that his family had on him, it's also the pressure that Snoke had on him, Palpatine had on him. Now he's seen Palpatine face to face, knowing he's behind it all. Forget this. I just want to be Ben. Like you said, he doesn't want to be Kylo Ren. He wants to be Ben. Kylo Ren is this attempt to live up to the legacy of Vader. Forget that too. And say, yeah, he has to step out. Before that moment, he's still kind of a kid. And I think, it's on Exegol there where he finally seems like an adult.
I thought you were talking about the first time on Exegol. Like, no, the second time, you're right.
No, yeah. It was the first time on Exegol. Well,
he met Palpatine's corpse, and Palpatine's like,
Palpatine.
Yeah,
no, the second time on Exegol. Yeah, he finally seems like an adult there, right? And that's the thing about being an adult is, yeah, you depend on, wise words from Matthew these days, but you depend on other people, of course, but you step out, be part of something bigger rather than you're actively part of something, and you don't need validation from other people. You have it yourself, and you share life with other people. And sorry, I'm talking too much, but for my cold. But yeah, this really, he starts off doing it here for this evil dark path that he maybe is about to confront. But yeah, I mean, we see in Rise of Skywalker, he ends up doing it for the sake of light, and so this helps underline that and help us understand that. Lastly, sorry, one last thought before I take a swig of water here and mute myself. Lastly, I think that voice at the end, I think that might be Luke again. That's at San Diego. Like, he's encountered Luke already before, of course, and back in that issue we talked about how it makes sense. He's the one that he has this conflicted relationship with. This difficult relationship with. Sorry, guys, but that he needs to overcome. Not so much Anakin or Vader or whoever. But
you're about to lose your voice.
Yeah, I'm about to lose my voice. Yeah,
stop talking.
Yeah. Sorry, but I think it'd be Luke again, be the one to kind of start to call him back and affirm maybe that for him. That would be really moving if Luke is in that vault there, in that vision. Kind of like, I mean, he's like Luke in the cave sees sees Luke, his face. Of course, we know in Age of Resistance, Kylo Ren destroys that cave on Dagobah. Remember that? Because Snoke took him there. I wonder if also he sees Luke there, And instead of this destructive confrontational moment, it's a powerful validational moment, kind of like what Rey experiences in The Last Jedi, right? Rey had experienced this moment in her cave where she has all she needs. She doesn't have to depend on her parents to give her that. She already has it. Here, Ben can find himself, and that can carry things through into the Rise of Skywalker and to the end. So
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen though, because I don't
Okay,
think we're
maybe
close
not.
enough to Rise of Skywalker. Again,
That's possible
I
too.
think you're thinking Rise of Skywalker's tomorrow. I think Rise of
So
Skywalker is 10 months away. I think
sure, I don't necessarily think that'll happen in full. He might not accept it. Might be Luke planting a seed or something. That's what I'm getting at. I get your point though, but sorry, I'm going to stop talking. Me myself. I guess Chris, I haven't turned this to you fully. What do you think of this book, issue 11?
Yeah, this was a great book. I think it really did a lot for the adventure side of Star Wars. I think just the action in this was damn amazing. I think just not even getting too deep, but just looking at this as a comic book on its face value and seeing, all right, it starts here, it ends here. There's so much packed in there, a lot of cool moments. Like I was shocked. I had to go back and read because I was like, no way, this is all in his head. The stuff about Vader being like him with the Vader helmet being lowered in lava. I thought that was in his head. Like I thought that this was like another ethereal plane moment where he's like in this other area. But no, it's like Vanya injected him with these drugs and he passed out. He's waking up. I thought that was so cool. And he's screaming, yelling. You can hear Adam Driver doing that in your head as you're reading. And you're just trying to use the force to get Vanya off the ledge. Like it was so cool. And then another big Indiana Jones moment. Like that reminded me of like a Tomb Raider or like Lara Croft. Like you're running through these death traps. It was an incredible job. I love every time we get action set pieces like this because it shows you how powerful he is as a Jedi to be able to have that sixth sense of the Force, like Spider sense, to be able to just dodge these projectiles and make these amazing jumps with the Force augmenting his abilities. Like, and then you get to the point, like with the Dark Troopers, and they actually modeled the Dark Troopers that they had as heavy units in the Star Wars Legion miniature game, where it's like there's the guy called like the Mutilator. He's got this blade and then different things. Like, yeah, I thought that was great. It was like, oh, cool. We're seeing recognition of Dark Troopers, and
Nice.
and it goes and it shows you how powerful Luke Skywalker is, because Luke Skywalker had like 12 of these things that he just mowed down like they were nothing, and you see how much struggle Ben and Kylo is going through, the almost getting killed. If it wasn't for that lightsaber, he would have been a goner. He would have gotten killed by these things. And not only that, but then he gets the saber. I think it's a High Republic era saber by the hilt, and he bleeds it mid-combat. Like it starts off as a greenish blade, and then he just channels his rage, and it just instantly. Oh my God! Like there's so many awesome moments in this comic book, and again, this is all surface level stuff. Not even getting into the thoughts that you were mentioning, Matt and Joel here. I'm just going off of like, hey, I'm picking this thing off a shelf. Oh, look at this cool action. Look at this cool action. Like that's the medium of what comic books are about. It's just cool imagery and really interesting ways of telling a story in a small amount of real estate. And by the end of it, just this big climactic moment of, we know what he was doing the whole time with Vanya. He was goading him, trying to make literally a new Vader in this era of Star Wars. The galaxy feels like he's needed. And he gets, then Kylo gets rid of him and moves on. So I thought that was just well-paced adventure. Felt like it was a lot longer than it actually was, but it really did have some pretty awesome moments there, just from the action perspective, not even getting into anything deeper.
I just want to say it's that part with Vanya is so there's a joke which that some of my comic book friends have where people say Funny is like Vader's Alfred to Vader's Batman. It's just kind of a funny joke, like he's Vader's butler, kind of a situation. But I actually think that I think Charles Soule might be even kind of playing with that unintentionally. I mean, I'll have to ask him if he's a Batman fan, because I'm saying like the galaxy needs a Vader. Like it's like saying Gotham will always need a Batman.
Yeah.
It's like you must now take up the mantle. All Vaders must burn in lava. It is almost like evil Batman in a way with Vader, where it's like like you gotta lose someone you love, and then you gotta burn in lava, and then then you gotta put on the mask, and then you now have the cape and cowl. You are the Bat. You are the Vader. Da, 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 da. Which I just kind of find kind of hilarious. I'm Darth Vader. But no, I had to mention that 'cause it's funny, and I'm curious if Soule is being a little cheeky with that. If he likes Batman,
I think he wrote a Batman comic.
Okay, so maybe he probably knows a little bit.
I mean, I'm gonna ask that in the Discord, in Charles Soule's Discord.
Well, I know he's like best friends with Scott Snyder, who is like the best Batman writer in the last decade, at least. He's one of the top guys, and I know they were going on like runs around New York City for a while there.
Well, they're together writing Undiscovered Country.
Oh, that's where it really comes. Yeah, the Brotherhood comes from that, probably. Okay, yeah.
So.
He probably told him all his Batman ideas, and he just soaked it up and said, "Okay, I'm going to use this."
And Mark Hamill is his arch enemy.
Yeah. That's true.
The Joker.
But then, of course, Kylo Ren bashing
Terry
all
McGinnis.
through that.
Terry McGinnis.
Yes.
But
then that's great that Kylo Ren here just saying no to all of that and saying, "Forget this. I'm not Batman. I'm Kylo Ren. I'm not Vader. I'm Kylo Ren. I'm Ben Solo." And so it definitely, I mean, again, it works on, so Chris, it works on all these levels, right? That's the thing, is this physically running around, transcend, or just stopping Van and chucking him off the ledge there. Also evocative of his journey to transcend his family, transcend the expectations and the weight of his family, while discovering it and while moving through it. And that's the thing, is Vonne wastes Kylo Ren's time, didn't waste our time. It was fascinating. So one more issue in January, and then that'll be it. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts on it. You guys have anything further to add?
No, I'm just kind of curious of where Kylo is at the end of this, because obviously he can't redeem himself.
Sure.
Yeah. Rise of Skywalker to get to. I'm kind of convinced we're still kind of in the early parts of that 1 year between episodes 8 and 9. Like maybe at best a month or two.
No way. No,
I don't think.
Dude conquered like 3 planets. There's no way he did that in a month.
I mean, Star Wars logic. So I think if all the
Corellia, they had to take over all of Corellia. There's no way they could do that in like a week.
I mean, they did in the book though. That's what they said. Corellia fell like that. So
counterpoint, Joel. Yeah. Just like in his Vader comic, where it goes through probably a decade in the last arc, because it keeps tearing down the castle, building castle, tearing it down, different moment variants.
I still feel like there's got to be some resolution with Teva Ren and the Knights of Ren. Like that's a big like blank spot that needs to get addressed, because you just don't end things the way he did and then just magically have them appear in the Rise of Skywalker for any explanation.
I just don't see if you can. I think there's no room in this point. I think either that has to be a cliffhanger or that's a
no. They're gonna give us a second run. I mean, Charles like
okay. I mean,
we don't know, but like he's writing stuff about Kylo Ren right now. He mentioned it as much on social media.
Yeah,
and
I thought we were talking about this book, but maybe you're right. I don't know.
I feel like we're gonna get like a second arc of like another 12 issues, and that'll literally bridge us in. Probably.
I mean, I hope
not that many issues. Maybe like at least a couple more.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll know next week because we get no news next week. Then that means there's no comics coming from Marvel in February.
Yeah, either
Or
that
March
or
30th.
they sneak it in this surprise teaser at the end of issue 12.
Like maybe it's a cliffhanger where like Tava and the Knights of Ren are like, "Hey, boss, let's have
Or
a talk."
it could be
Take it
one
easy.
of those
Uh,
it could be one of those TV style things like with Willow or the Acolyte or whatever, or to say well, like that they don't bother finishing it, but also they give us the cliffhanger and with a book that may or may not be greenlit. So all of us go and buy it and are banging on Marvel's door saying, "Hey, make this please, make this please."
Or maybe that's what I mean. I've talked about before how maybe this is just like individual little books that are kind of divided up into 10 to 12 issue arcs.
Yeah,
Five
well,
issues.
that seems what's likely. So, yeah, we'll find out. Marvel solicits probably next week, right? Yeah. So,
Also, maybe Vader's. Also, I'm now putting putting on my theory that Kylo destroys the castle.
yeah, I think that's a great one.
I like that idea, especially because again, he destroyed that cave.
He's just destroying all the landmarks of Star Wars.
Really?
Well, just kind of a nice poetic thing. I mean, again, who remembers Age of Resistance except for me? I don't know. But also, I mean, Charles built the castle. He'd be the one to destroy it, unless Lucas wants to use it again somewhere. That's the only thing. But I can see that. I mean, definitely, again, the poetic, the theme, the through line of him of Kylo Ren busting up these expectations of the past. Right, that's the theme of this book. Is what's the legacy of Vader? Kylo Ren. What's the legacy of Vader? I don't care. I'm myself. that's the theme of this book.
I mean, maybe to kind of just add, and then we'll wrap up. Maybe instead of a redeeming cave moment, Kyle's like, "No, I'm gonna defy the past and just I'm keep being stubborn about it because I'm that in deep at this point."
Maybe. I mean, if he just loves the cave so much, I don't know, or the castle. So anyway, yeah, we will at least find out something in January, in issue number 12, setting up for a fantastic finale in the best comic of 2025. I mean, Jedi Knights was good. Other books have been good, but this one.
Yep.
One more question for the panel, and then
yes.
I have to ask.
Yes.
Do we get a Palpatine cameo at the end?
I hope not.
I'm okay with
it. It's not necessarily. What's he gonna do? We all know he's in the background. What's that gonna do for us? Like it's no surprise. Like we know he's there.
Yeah, like Charles already gave it to us. Rise of Kylo Ren. He already gave us that Palpatine cameo, right?
True.
So little smirk at the end there. So
no, we see his whole corpsey thing cocking in Kylo's head alongside Snoke when he's I think killing somebody, or is he leading the saber? I forgot what he was doing. But
when? What were we talking about?
In Rise of Kylo Ren, there's a whole panel with Corpus Palpatine.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just remember this smirk at the very end, very distinctly. Yeah. Fun times. Dark side, dark arts, magic, other things that Homunkin likes to study. There we go. It's been good times. Next week.
Oh, here it is.
We are still. I mean, there's one sequel era comic coming up, but also a High Republic era comic and a prequel era comic. There we go. Got the Young Jedi Adventures, The Trees of Kashyyyk. Ooh. That one shot that came with the collected edition today or yesterday, I guess. Jedi Knights number 10 coming out next week.
Issue.
Yeah, the last issue. And Tales from the Nightlands number 3, also last issue of a fantastic little series by Kevin Scott. That came out today. Yes, came out today as well. So yeah, check that out next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here. Chris, Joel, thanks for coming in. Before I go make myself some ginger tea, Joel, those to you. Thanks for coming on. Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at JID20234 on Blue Sky, JID20234 on Blue Sky. Sometimes Facebook. Most of the time on the Star Wars Underworld Discord server. We have game nights, movie nights, and more, and sometimes D&D nights. So yay! Join us there. It's lots of fun. And of course, I'm always on the Ion Can podcast Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern live.
Yes.
This next week, me and Matthew's gonna be back, and we're gonna be talking about a look back at Star Wars 2025.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's one of the best years for novels, Star Wars novels, in 2025.
It can be fun.
Undoubtedly. Chris, thanks for also bearing with my cold here. Where can they find you on the internet?
yeah, you could find me over youtube.com/StarRaptor this week on Outer Rim Transmission, the weekly Star Wars podcast. If you want to know about some more Star Wars gaming news, well, first of all, last week I brought on my buddy Fighter onto the podcast for the first time. We did a deep dive, Joel, on the Destiny 2 crossover Star Wars expansion. We went for like an hour and a half plus, just getting in the weeds. It was one of the funnest podcasts yet because we had no hold bar. It was just, I don't know if anybody's listening, but we're gonna just talk about this like we do, like we're friends. We're just talking about this thing. We get really granular with it. So hopefully, Destiny fans out there, if you want to watch that, go ahead. And then this week, we're going to be breaking down the Star Wars card gaming news. We're going to be breaking down the inevitable. I'm going to put it out there. The inevitable news that we'll get tomorrow. And if we don't get it tomorrow, we're going to still be talking about the KOTOR 2 news that we got earlier in the week about this rumor. So if you want all your gaming Star Wars news, tune in this Thursday. No, that's the Star Wars Underworld. Tune in this Sunday at youtube.com/StarRaptor. You can find me on twitter.com/StarRaptor, where I'm compiling and documenting my entire journey through video games in 2025. I think I have 22 games under my belt, and that number might increase. So you can find out if it does on twitter.com/StarRaptor, where I talk about that. And will most likely be freaking out about the Supergirl, and apparently there might be a Doomsday trailer, both coming out on the same day tomorrow. So you'll probably get my reaction to that over there as well. So we'll see. Thanks. It was a good one today. It was a lot of fun talking sequel trilogy content, getting into the weeds with it. Always a good time.
Yeah, there we go. Supergirl, that was tomorrow or today? I thought it might have been today. All right.
Tomorrow, because
tomorrow
because apparently there was a rumor that tomorrow was all supposed to be a Mandalorian Grogu trailer, but they decided not to because they don't want to compete with Supergirl, which I don't blame them because
that's tells you what DC's up to these days. All right, yeah, I can admit it. Anyway, before I go get myself some ginger tea and some honey, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Instagram Threads and Blue Sky at MEUG1138, on Twitter at MEUG485. As Joel mentioned, I will be back on the Iron Cannon podcast on Monday. Give it our year in review there, and my Master of Evil thoughts as well. And then, of course, you can follow us here on the Tractor Beam Comics reviews at thetractorbeam.bisky.social. Yes, as I did, check out your local comic book shop for so the Young Jedi Adventures is in the collected edition, the training missions or something. I forget what it's called. There you go. And Jedi Knights number 10 and Tales from the Nightlands number 3. Pick those up, give those a look, and then come right back here next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, where we will talk all about them. But until then, happy reading.